Bob Duncan? Is that Bob Duncan? Whoa! Hang on!
Hey, you forgetting something?
What, that?
I promised your mom we'd be extra careful.
Great.
That's Bob Duncan.
Here we go. Alright, here we go. Hey, whoa.
That's...
See? Just like...
That is Bob Duncan.
See? Just like a real gun, you never pointed at anything.
That is Bob Duncan.
Get up. Get up. We are taking control of this facility. Do not move, or you will be shot.
You know, sometimes I can predict what this show is gonna do, and then sometimes it does that! I was anticipating the guy that beat up Josh was gonna come back at some point and cause some issues, but what? Maddie was smart, though. Saying I love you, Howie, not calling him Chimney, and saying I love you, the exact thing she said she couldn't say. He's gonna figure out something's up. He has to. Oh god! The fact that I have consumed very little, DC content outside of Teen Titans is really starting to show. And it's been, like, actual years since I've consumed any Teen Titans content. Because I read some of the comics way back in, like, 2018. And I've seen Teen Titans, like, the 2003-2006 show. I've seen Teen Titans Go, all of those movies within those universes. I've seen the movies. And yeah, I've read some of the comics. Anyway, point of me saying this is, so in the Teen Titans show, Deathstroke, they just call him Slade. So I was unaware that that was his name. Like his villain name or whatever, because they just call him Slade, and they explicitly just refer to him as Slade. Apparently, this guy's name is Slade Wilson. Why does that sound familiar? Because that's the DC character that Deadpool was based off of. I can see it design-wise for sure, but again, having only really the context of the Teen Titans show of Slade, this is kind of fucking wild to me. This is also, like, especially wild to me after having just rewatched The Apprentice Part 1 and 2 from Teen Titans. Like, Season 1 of Teen Titans. And I know, like, screen adaptations, like, comic to screen, are gonna differ a lot from their, like, original characters, but it's, like, now I gotta wonder just how different is this, version of this character from the comics if this is who Deadpool was based off of. Is this gonna mean I'm gonna get back into reading DC comics for the first time since I was 14? Maybe. I just got back into reading comics in general in the last, like, year and a half, and it's been a lot of, it's been kind of all over the place, and then more recently it's just been a lot of Spider-Man and Deadpool stuff, so. But, wow. Yeah, if you know, wow. The amount of times someone has probably said that, I've heard people say that, Deadpool's based off of Deathstroke, and I just was like, oh, cool, and didn't think anything more of it. Slade is, like, one of the main villains the Titans face in the Teen Titans show. But for some reason, the Teen Titans show is so interesting, because, oh my god, like, all of them, they explicitly refer to each other with their, like, oh my god, what is the word I'm looking for? Aliases. There we go. To the point that we didn't know which Robin was the Robin in the show up until, like, a couple seasons in, when the Starfire travels to the future and meets Robin, but he's Nightwing's. That's when we finally got the confirmation that it was Dick Grayson's Robin, specifically. And we only learned Beast Boy's name as Garfield Logan in the last season. Starfire's never referred to as Coriander. I just now learned that Cyborg's name is Victor Stone. I probably knew before. It's just, like I said, been so long. And to be fair, the whole Raven Rachel Roth thing, I'm a little bit confused on if that was, like, originally her name, or if that was, like, a name she picked up to blend in. I don't know. Because I got really into Raven when I was into the Teen Titans. Big shocker. But I remember that it was a bit confusing on whether or not that was, like, her actual name, or if Rachel Roth was her actual name. I think it depends on the universe. But either way, they're Beast Boy, Raven, Robin, Starfire, Cyborg. They don't have actual names. They just have their aliases. And then meanwhile, instead of Deathstroke, they just referred to to him with his entire legal first name, Slade. He just was like, I'm Slade. I guess we never learned his last name. But how interesting. How very interesting. I guess this goes along with just, I don't know, Teen Titans as a show. Watching it now, it's so interesting. Like, why are they so vague about Robin's past? Like, I'm sorry, we all know that you were Batman's sidekick. Why aren't you being all mysterious about it? And if you're gonna be all mysterious about being Batman's sidekick, and, like, him probably being a pseudo-father figure to you, or in some cases, his literal adopted child. Most cases, I think. Like, can you at least give us a reason? Because, again, I was recently watching The Apprentice, part 1 and 2, and he says, who knows, maybe, and Slade says to Robin, who knows, maybe I'll become like a father to you. And Robin goes, I already have a father. And it's just, like, such a weird, and it's, I don't know. Because, like, the rest of the Titans, it makes sense why we don't hear much about their parents, and when we do, we get why we haven't heard about them up until this point, and why they just, like, aren't around, you know. Raven, self-explanatory, her whole arc is based around her dad being Trigon. Cyborg, it's been a minute, so I actually don't remember if they did anything with that, so that could have also been just a weird vague thing they did. Starfire, her parents are Tamaranian aliens. We still see her sister, though. Beast Boy, we do meet the people that raised him close to the end of the show. Again, also when we learn that his name is Garfield. And then Robin, it's just like, I don't know, weird. Cause, like, it's like the weird little scene, I already have a father. Like, okay, so, like, are you referring to the acrobats? Because they're supposed to be dead. And I doubt that you're referring to them, to your former acrobat dad that died, because you're Robin, and that's kind of like the Dick Grayson's whole origin story. So, like, are you referring to Batman? Bruce Wayne? Because where is he? Your adopted son and former sidekick just went off to do his own thing, and is now leading a team of superheroes. And he's still a teenager, mind you. That's the whole thing. That's the point. They're the Teen Titans. They're all teenagers. So, like, Batman's just, like, not concerned. He doesn't visit once. I don't know. I don't know actually that much about Batman, so, like, maybe that's totally on brand, but it's still, it feels strange. Because I feel like in the Teen Titans Go series, we have a more explicit tie to Robin to Batman than we do in Teen Titans. And it's like, could we at least get a reason? I don't know. Anyway, that got off track, but I can't believe Deadpool's based off Deathstroke. Again, if I'd seen more, like, iterations of Deathstroke, it probably would make more sense, but I have only seen Slade in the Teen Titans show, so this is deeply confusing. I don't know. Anyone else surprised by this information? And tell me, what is Slade Wilson like in the comics? Is he actually anything like Deadpool in the comics, or probably not in the movies, but like in the comics? And like, if that's the case, like, who is this guy? Who is he typically terrorizing? Are the Teen Titans is he usually running after Robin and being a weirdo? Or does he actually, like, deal with, like, the Justice League and shit? I don't know. Buck? Yeah? Move to El Paso with me. What? Move to El Paso with me. Eddie, what are you talking about? Well, I mean, come on. We're a team, and I know you basically see Chris as your own. Whoa, I would never. Buck, it's in my will that he will be his legal guardian if I die. It's not a big deal. Uh-huh. Okay. So come on. Let's go get our kid. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting close to the end of this. But, comic I just read. Spidey and Deadpool swapped costumes to fake Spider-Man's death to take out a villain. So that's twice that Deadpool has worn Spidey's costume to fake Spidey's death to take out a villain. That is so funny to me for no good reason. And I thought I would share. Hey, if you're a Spidey pool shipper, you've probably seen this panel and this one. If you haven't already seen that in the actual comic and you're wondering which one it is, I have it right here. It is from the Deadpool comic run from 2012-2015, what it looks like, and is the 10th issue of that comic. Right here. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that the Spidey in this comic is actually Doc Ock possessing Peter's body. It's unfortunately not actually Peter Parker, but, you know, still. Wade doesn't know that. But, here's the first panel. You know, if the internet could see the two of us like this, it would have fits. What are you prattling on about? I guess we go to different websites. And then, right here, we're more like lovers. Remind me why I don't just blow this guy away, sweetums. It's actually funny because this is Don't Call It a Team Up, the collection of comics with Spider-Man and Deadpool before the actual team-up comic from 2016. So I started reading this one, and then I recognized the art style, and I was like, wait a minute. And I checked, and it was like, holy shit, it's the viral panels. So I thought I would share both of those panels that are, like, viral on the internet for Spidey Pool are in the same comic issue. Literally, like, 2 pages apart. Very fun. Hey, Eddie. Hen. Did you listen to anything I said? Yeah. I mean, that's why... Anything other than take Buck with you to El Paso? Well... Eddie, what are you thinking? Are you gonna buy a house with him? Live with him? Parent Chris with... in El Paso? Away from the family you built here and the friends you have here? Away from Buck's sister and his niece? Well, it's not like I thought it was going to be permanent. You told me to do this. I told you many things. Why is that the one thing you latched onto? Not the Go for a visit. Talk to your son. Talk to your parents. I'm starting to think you're like in love with Buck or something. Are you in love with Buck? I am so tired. There's a chapel in the mall I work at, apparently. So when I was at work today, some people came in from the chapel. And they asked me if I knew about it. I was like, no, I didn't know about it, but I'm not surprised that we have one. And then they handed me a bag of cookies. They're like, oh yeah, so we're just trying to like spread awareness on the chapel. Okay. We wanted to wish you guys a Merry Christmas. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet, thank you. And then they're like, and we were wondering if we can pray for you or with you. Ma'am, I'm at work. I'm actively doing my job right now. What? So I just kind of like stood there and I was like, cause like, I don't know. No, I don't really want to pray with you. No. I'm not gonna say no to you praying for me, but I don't really, what? I work in customer service. I don't have time. Nor is this the place for us to pray. What do you want me to do? What are we just gonna stand here and pray, or do you want to like take me? So I'm so confused. And so after like a few seconds of me just staring at them blankly, they're like, it doesn't have to be now, it can be later. I'm not going to your chapel. What? Like, ma'am, 1 and 2, because there were 2 of them. I slept 4 hours last night. And I had to drive in the shit show that is the roads right now, because it's been snowing all day. Constantly swerving. I just want a nap. No, I'm not going to your chapel after work to pray with you. What? So I tried so politely to be like, I think I'm okay, but thank you for the cookies. Like, I don't know if I was supposed to, like, keep the cookies after refusing to pray with them, but I don't know, I took them, I put them in the bag. So now people have Christmas cookies from the chapel in the mall at my work to feast on. I didn't have any, because I just didn't. So I went to battle for those cookies for all my coworkers. You're welcome, guys. Battle. It was an awkward conversation with some religious people. But after my religious trauma, that feels like battle. Also, no one was there to witness that. It was just me up at the front. Like, there have been multiple times where other people were up at the front with me, just around. That was the one time. It was just me, somehow. So I'm, like, trying to explain this interaction, and I have no one else to, like, vouch for me. So I'm like, I don't even, did I black out? What just happened? Anyway. Yeah, that was weird. Okay, I'm not totally clear on if Gravity Falls is in kind of like a Renaissance era because of the Book of Bill. It's entirely possible that it's been active before then, but okay. So I've heard of the Book of Bill, and some things that I heard, and also Danny Mata, watching Gravity Falls has gotten me back into Gravity Falls. This is the first time I've tried to intentionally watch Gravity Falls in 6 years. Maybe it's just all the fixations from back when I was 14 or just deciding to come back right now, but either way, I gotta ask. One of the things that people are saying that seems to be why Gravity Falls is in this like Renaissance era because of the Book of Bill is that Alex Hirsch kind of made Stanford and Bill almost canonical exes. Does someone want to shed a light on this for me? Because I did buy the book and I will be reading it, but like maybe I'll just like come back to this video and these comments after I read it. It's supposed to come sometime tomorrow, so it's like what, just over 100 pages. I'll probably be done soon, like within a day, knowing me. So like, what's happening? Talk to me. like big of a ship was that, and how long have people been shipping out? Because I was never really in the fandom. I just kind of like watched the show. Yeah, the first time I watched the show all the way through, and I think the only time I've properly watched it from beginning to end was when I was 14 and I was sick and dying. And then I think I like restarted it immediately after, but I don't think I rewatched it in its entirety after that. And I've rewatched the first season, but like mainly the filler episodes at the beginning of the season quite a few times. So like I can already like see I'm on season 2 right now. I think it was season 1 episode 19, the first like flash I think that we actually see of Stanford is when Gideon says to Bill that he wants to get the code from Stan Pines' mind, and then he like turns away and literally just Stanford flashes like on his body. Like, you know how his body can change to kind of like almost a TV screen? It's that, but it's just you see Stanford.
Damon, I have a job for you. I need you to enter the mind of Stanford Pines and steal the code to his safe. Wait. Stan Pines. You know what, kid?
Oh my god. I thought that was really fucking cool. So even from just that single flash, I'm like, and having the context of it may be kind of sort of semi-canon, I'm like, oh, I could see this. So, like, talk to me. How big has this been, like, a thing? Because, again, I haven't really been active in the fandom outside of cosplaying Mabel. So, and I know that Gravity Falls has so much lore behind it, and the world is so, like, there's so much that goes into it. Because I know that I've never read any of the books before. The Book of Bill is going to be the first book I've read. Gravity Falls book I've read. So, like, I'm down. Lore drop. Like, info dump about the lore and everything going on right now, please. When I make videos like this, by the way, guys, I just want you guys to yap at me about this world, because, like, I don't know, seeing other people yap and be excited about it helps me also be excited about it. So, tell me what's happening. That is one giant eggplant. Eggplant. Why did it have to be an eggplant? We need to stall it while I contact the Avengers. Oh, I'll stall it, alright. Eat lead, eggplant! Holy, it ate Deadpool. He was a friend of mine, you monster! Well, not a friend exactly. More of a nuisance, if you must know. But he was my nuisance! Listen, I could look this up, but I'm gonna ask here instead. Which one of the Robins is canonically bisexual? It's Tim Drake, right? I say this because I'm pretty sure it was Tim Drake, but I also say this because Tim Drake is the Robin that everyone says that I am. Like, unprovoked, people have been like, hey, you're like Tim Drake. My best friend. Okay? By the way, used to go by Robin. They specifically love Dick Grayson's Robin, which, to be fair, we all love Dick Grayson. Love Nightwing. But, you know, point is, they know the Robins. So, you know, one day, randomly, I get a screenshot of my contact image, and it's a picture of one of the Robins. And I was like, oh, yeah. Okay. And she's like, Tim. Smart-ass caffeine addict. This was like 2 or 3 years ago, mind you. And ever since then, several people, unprovoked, without this context either, have been like, yeah, you're Tim Drake. Or telling me that I would do a really good Tim Drake cosplay. That I could do a really good Tim Drake cosplay, and I, like, fit his personality very well. So that's the bisexual one, right? Like, I'm not bisexual, but, like, it has to be the canonically queer Robin that everyone's associating me with, right? Like, yes, smart-ass caffeine addict. A bisexual. Or queer in some capacity, because, again, not bisexual, but... Also, I'm pretty sure that when Max assigned me Tim Drake, this was before he was confirmed as bi. But either way, still... I get kin assigned the queer Robin, right? The canonically queer Robin. Because, like, let's be honest. Are any of them straight? I say this knowing next to nothing about Jason Todd, but that one of my trans friends is obsessed with him. Beckett, if you see this, hi, calling you out. But it's like, a lot of trans people are obsessed with Jason Todd, right? right? Jason Todd's also the one that was, like, he was killed by a crowbar and then also became a mob boss, right? That's him. And Dick Grayson. And then Damian, the only context I have for Damian is, season 1 and 2 of Harley Quinn and, Justice League vs. Teen Titans and Teen Titans The Judas Contract. Either way. But one of them is canonically queer. I know this. I literally have a picture of whatever Robin that is with his boyfriend and, like, just, like, him just hugging his boyfriend. I have that picture from the canon picture from one of the comic panels of him with his boyfriend. It just in my phone. I don't know anything about most of the Robins, but I have that because I'm like, well, one of the Robins is queer and I love that. Again, I have my laptop open right here and I could look it up, but I think this is funnier to be like, guys, it's Tim Drake, right? This video is way too long. Anyway, the Robin everyone is kin assigning me to is the queer one, right? just so we're clear. And if I'm wrong, that'll be actually really funny, so. Of all the things I was gonna read in the Book of Bill, Bill, have you ever been in love? Sure, tell your mom hi for me. Not on my bingo card. Followed by the way, have you taken a DNA test recently? Not asking for any particular reason. Alex Hirsch, what are you doing? Incredible. I'm having fun.
Wait. Before you say anything, I want to guess what happened based on your face. Someone died. No. You want a prize. I'm not getting better at this.
So, I got the Book of Bill, and I'm not that far into it. I don't actually know how many pages into the book I'm in because they're not numbered, but I'm not that far into it, and I'm already going a little bit insane. Because, you know, I really had no idea what to expect when they said, oh, this book kind of made Bill and Stanford essentially canonical exes. So this is how much there's left in the book. This is how far I'm in. This is how far in where I started going insane over the implications of Bill and Stanford's relationship. Because, okay, so this book is fun because it intentionally is, like, portrayed as if it's Bill interacting with you, right? But it's the Book of Bill, and how it is presented is that it's him trying to get you to trust him, get into your mind the way that he did with Stanford, right? So it opens with a message from Stanford saying how he got this book and how he threw it into an alternate dimension, and then that if you find it in your possession, just get rid of it. Don't let him in. And then proceeds the Book of Bill. You get a couple pages in, and then you have yet another message from him. And it's really fun, because it's as if it's, like, actually taped into the book, you know? So, like, it's a fun little visual thing that they do. Anyway, that aside, again, it's another note. I'm going a little nuts, okay? Because this is what it says. If you've reached this page, then you ignored my instructions and have begun to read the Book of Bill. You can't hear the long, disappointed sigh I'm making right now, but I assure you it's devastating. Yes, I'm judging you. You're making a terrible mistake. I don't know what ridiculous things Bill is telling you right now, but I assure you none of it is true, useful, or in good taste. I took a glimpse at the book myself, and it was mostly extremely complex riddles. He's trying to bait me into solving them because he knows my curiosity is my Achilles heel, and he's counting on yours being the same. If you're the type to ignore reason, even when it's staring you in the face, then I'm sure the last thing you want is to be scolded by some old man wagging one of his 6 fingers at you. Chances are you're at some desperate low point in life. Perhaps you've lost something dear to you, or you're in the throes of some all-consuming monomaniacal ambition. Or perhaps you just are attracted to things that hurt you. As a recovering cipherholic myself, I want you to know there's another way. Close this book right now. Go on with your life. He's trying to bait me into solving them because he knows my curiosity is my Achilles heel. Kind of insane. But, you know, meh. He was in his mind. Okay, sure. The fact that all of these descriptions apply to, like, the first two descriptions for sure apply to Stanford when he says this, and then you just have that third one. Chances are you're at some desperate low point in life. Perhaps you've lost something dear to you, or in the throes of some all-consuming monomaniacal ambition. Sorry, the first three things. Desperate low point in life when he had not gotten into his dream school, lost contact with his brother, had to go to the backup college that wasn't very good, and was at a stalemate in learning about Gravity Falls. And then, or perhaps you're just attracted to things that hurt you. And I know that attraction has multiple meanings, and what's the word I'm looking for? There are different ways to interpret the use of the word attracted here. For some reason, I literally cannot think of how to say it, and it's driving me insane. Someone please fucking tell me what I'm trying to say here, because I know what I'm trying to say, but words are hard apparently. I've lost a lot of sleep from watching Gravity Falls, and because I fell down a rabbit hole of looking at Bilford fan art and such. That aside, though, it's just interesting. And again, attracted to things that hurt you very much can just be interpreted as, like, self-destructive tendencies and just not inherently, like, physical or romantic or emotional kind of attraction, just like a, when you say you're attracted to danger kind of thing. Obviously, that is there too, but it's kind of insane for him to say that, and then to say, as a recovering cypherholic myself, Bill Cipher is a sentient being that was inside his mind. He called himself a cypherholic. And yes, it's very clear that their relationship on Ford's part, Stanford's part, was like obsessive, just based from on the show alone. And then I've heard that it is shown that it actually went both ways, as it was just as, like, equally obsessive on Bill Cipher's part. But that's just kind of insane. And yeah, it's so far very ambiguous, and it's more subtext and implied, and it can be interpreted in different ways. But wow. Okay. This is how far that is into this book. And there's just more to come. By the way, in the table of contents, there's a section that says Bill's Guide to Everything. There's a section for love. We're not there yet. There's a section for Sixer, which is what he calls Stanford. And those include My New Puppet and the Lost Journal pages. Not at either of those parts yet, and this is what I've learned, what I've seen so far. Sick. I'm replying to this with a video just because you're the second person in like a week to tell me that I have bi vibes despite not being bisexual. So, I don't know. Sorry. I don't really know if there's like anything I can really specifically say on how to, and this is just, okay, listen, there's no right or wrong answer here, I guess, but I will say it is very strange, as someone who does not identify as bisexual, for people to tell me that I have bi vibes or I give off bi vibes, because I'm not. And it's not like I'm upset if people assume that I am, but I still think it's strange to tell someone who isn't bi that they have bi vibes. Because I'm thinking about it, I think the only time I've ever said someone has bi vibes has been, I don't refer to like actual people unless I know for a fact that they're bisexual, but even then it's kind of a thing. Or like I refer to fictional characters as having bi vibes, but it's like, I don't know. Telling a stranger on the internet you have bi vibes when they're not bisexual, it feels weird. Again, it could just be a me thing that I just like, because I don't identify as bisexual and like worked so hard to feel comfortable with my identity as a lesbian, it feels weird, especially like, again, having gone from identifying as queer, pan, and bi to eventually coming into the lesbian identity. It just, but yeah, no, I don't mind that people don't know, especially because I took it out of my bio, but I have pretty openly identified as a lesbian the entire time that I've had this account. The main reason for taking the lesbian out of my bio has not been because I don't identify that way, but because of, to be honest, because I also identify as gender fluid. It has been kind of exhausting to receive DM after DM and comment after comment asking people how I can be a lesbian when I'm gender fluid. And it's just, don't ask a stranger unprovoked how they can identify a certain way, especially if they're just openly identifying that way. Like, they're doing it. That's how you can do it. This term is made up. We made it up to describe a very complicated experience. Everyone is going to experience it differently. We cannot have a rigid definition for it, and if you don't agree with it, like, okay, that's fine, but I'm not you. You don't get to tell me how I identify. Which isn't what you were doing, obviously. This is just a general thing that's been on my brain, because it has genuinely, more recently, been harder to openly claim the lesbian label. Not because I don't identify with it anymore, but just because of how people, especially lately, have been treating it and asking about it. And I think part of that has also come from the fact that I bulk uploaded a bunch of videos to YouTube, and so I got a bunch of people on there who have a lot of questions, and so I'm getting more and more. And then another thing too is that my partner is trans, masc, genderqueer, and uses he, they pronouns. So, you know, people have been asking about that too, even though within the first month, I think, of me seeing them, before I was like openly like, this is who I'm dating, because we weren't officially together, was I made a video saying like, how can I be dating someone who uses he, they pronouns when I identify as a lesbian? Well, I asked them how they felt about me identifying as a lesbian. Does that make them feel dysphoric? Do they feel like I don't see them as the trans, masc, gender, queer person that they are? And they said no. It doesn't bother them. Why and how is really no one's business, because the people in the relationship are okay with it. So, yeah, no, I haven't talked about it as much lately again, because I'm tired of explaining how I can be a lesbian while being genderqueer, and I'm not gender fluid, and I'm tired of having to justify me dating my partner and identifying as a lesbian, and people, like, I don't even know. Like, it's just I'm just tired, again, because it's like, this is just, it just doesn't, like, matter. You know, like, it's just who I am. This is how I feel. These are the terms that I identify with. And I'm tired of having to explain and justify it. If a single person wants to get on me about lesbian as women loving women and not non-men loving non-men, I don't care. You are not me. You do not get to tell me how I feel or what I identify with. And Language is constantly evolving. Language is made up. We made these terms to explain a very complicated part of our identities, something that is very personal. And really, more often than not, when people police this identity, like for me especially, it is usually people trying to exclude trans and gender nonconforming people from these spaces for reasons that I simply cannot fathom, other than transphobia. So I don't really care what we have to say. If you don't want to associate with me because I am a gender fluid and identify as a lesbian, cool. Leave me alone. You don't need to announce your departure. I'm not letting you guys know that this is how I feel and this is how I identify, only for you to tell me that I should identify a different way or ask me to justify or explain why and how I identify this way. Because you know what? People don't ask cis straight people this. They just don't. So why do people have to keep asking me this? Why do I have to keep justifying this? I just don't. Another thing, though, too, that did affect it was also the fact that because of me, the people who were aware that I identified as lesbian, people started referring to Jasper with feminine terms and referring to him as my girlfriend, despite me never referring to them as my girlfriend at any point, which is, you know, another video I made a video about where I was like, guys, this is my partner or my boyfriend. Do not refer to them as my girlfriend. Do not refer to him, she, her pronouns. He, they pronouns. Just don't do this. Don't refer to them as a lesbian. Don't refer to us collectively as lesbians because they're not a lesbian. So anyway, sorry this completely innocent comment kind of got caught in the crossfire of this kind of frustration, but I felt like I need to like actually properly talk about this because it got to the point, and I was talking to my partner about it, where I was literally like, maybe I should just stop openly identifying as a lesbian online because this is just getting so frustrating. And I don't think I should have to do that. Who knows, maybe I will. Maybe it'll get even more overwhelming and frustrating. I really don't want to do that. So, I'm not bisexual. I'm a lesbian. I'm gender fluid. My partner uses he, they pronouns and identifies as genderqueer, transmasc genderqueer. They're okay with me identifying as a lesbian, so no one get in the comments and trying to defend them and telling me that I'm transphobic or some shit. Because they don't care. One of the first things I asked when we started seeing each other, or talking about having a potentially romantic relationship, was like, hey, how do you feel about this? Does this, like, does this make you uncomfortable, make you feel dysphoric? And they were like, no. So, you don't need to be angry on his behalf. Just let us exist. Sometimes it's just that simple.
What? Or, I don't even know where to begin with this.
I mean, you said it yourself. I grew up feeling weird, and that's why I liked sci-fi, fantasy, Secrets of the Universe stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah. This seems like a bit much.
I mean, come on, I always felt weird growing up. He never made me feel like I was.
Ford. You have 12 fingers instead of 10. He is two-dimensional.
I just got off work, but, you know, J.K. Simmons has really made a name for himself as J. Jonah Jameson when he has such a distinct voice, but because he wasn't yelling about the Spider Menace, I did not realize that he was the man voicing Stanford Pines. Grunkle Ford, Grunkle Stan's brother, is voiced by J.K. Simmons, J. Jonah Jameson. And the whole time I was rewatching Gravity Falls, I was like, he is such, I know his voice. Look it up, and I'm like, oh my god. How did it not click immediately? Because he wasn't screaming about Spider-Man. And that isn't a diss of J.K. Simmons. It's just silly. Wait, did anyone, did Ford go out, at all? Was he ever perceived out in the wild? Were Ford and Stan, out in the wild together before Weird Mageddon happened? Because, like, Gravity Falls is a small town. You think they would notice that suddenly there's 2 stands, right? Like, that... I'm assuming probably not, but imagine how funny that would be. Okay, but 2 things. Like, not to say that you're wrong, just, like, to consider. Yes, the first, like, season and a half of Gravity Falls, you're kind of led to believe that weird shit happens and the townspeople kind of just accept it because this is, you know, it's just kind of how the town is. Weird, they're constantly encountering anomalies and as a result just are like, yeah, we don't want to think about that too much. But then you get to the episode where you learn about the Society of the Blind Eye, where it turns out these people kidnap people and erase their memories of the weird things that they see. So, in reality, they might not just be choosing not to think about it too hard and all the strange things going on too hard, but literally don't remember. And when Ford shows up, that's... the Society of the Blind Eye has already been, like, dismantled completely, and they're not erasing people's memories anymore. So that is why I'm like, okay, if they saw that, they would probably be at least a little bit weirded out. And even if they weren't, and there was still a good amount of people who were kind of just accepted that the town was weird, Stan Pine suddenly having a twin brother that he'd never mentioned during the 30 years that he'd been there is just... I feel more appealing and more... like, it's not like it's abnormal. It's a normal amount of strange that it's gossip worthy, especially for a small town. So that's why I think that they would care, because it's gossip worthy and it's not, like, as weird as the normal stuff that they experience. But, like, even if it, like, was equally as weird, a good amount of these people weren't in, like, a state of mind where they were just accepted the weirdness, but rather the memories of this weirdness was literally just erased from their minds so that they could be blissfully ignorant to it. Stan Pines? Hello? Huh? Huh, thought it was you. Have you decided to try out a new wardrobe? No? Oh, I'm sorry. What? I think you're mistaking me for my brother. Your brother? Stan Pines? That's who you're looking for? Yes, I'm Ford. Stanford and Ford Pines? No, I'm Stanford. He's Stanley. The guy who owns the Mystery Shack? Yeah. Stanford Pines. No, Stanley Pines. I literally went on a tour of the Mystery Shack before it was the Mystery Shack. He introduced himself as Stanford Pines. He does that sometimes. Uh-huh. I also don't remember him ever mentioning a brother in the 30 years he's been running it. We were estranged for a while. You were estranged for a while, but he went by your name? Yeah. You didn't think to tell him to stop using your name? No. Why would he pretend to be you when he's literally a research scientist with 12 PhDs? No, he isn't. Yes, he is. That's why he gave tours. No, I'm the research scientist with 12 PhDs. He runs the Mystery Shack. The Mystery Shack is actually my house. What, he just stole your house and pretended to be you for 30 years? What were you doing? If I told you where I was, you wouldn't believe me. Try me. Would rather not. Somebody literally fucking sedate me. I was looking at my fanfic spreadsheet. My fanfic tracker spreadsheet. And I checked the word count, which, mind you, this is not up to date. This spreadsheet is only up to date to... what day? November 29th. Okay? Still all the fics that I've read this month are not in there yet. This entire year, not including the fanfics I've DNF'd, mind you, because I just don't input that data, I have read over 12 million words of fanfiction. 12,094,666 words of fanfiction. Now, made this discovery because I was going to talk about how I've been periodically updating my partner on my spreadsheet data. And at one point, he said, you know, I really don't have to worry about you cheating on me, with the full preface of, like, I don't think you would, but also, like, all you do, you spend all your time reading. I know you're not gonna. Mind you, I've also read 88 books. That does include single issue comics, but there's still that. And I've binge watched so many shows. And I also was working 2 jobs for like 8 months this year. And for 6 months of this year, I was working 2 jobs while in school. How is this the year that I found a partner? No, but for realsies, yeah. There are several reasons you don't, that my partner doesn't have to worry about me cheating on them. Several. I can fully understand that this is one of them, though. This is actually ridiculous. What the fuck?
Oh, I got this. I love him.
Oh my god, he's gonna say it. Oh my god, he's gonna say it! Say what? Avengers Assemble! Sorry, what now? We don't know that guy. We thought we did. Store nothing. And I'll tell you what she can do. I'm listening. She can lick my goddamn cinnamon ring clean and kick rocks all the way to bald hell. In fact, I don't give a shit if she removes all my skin and pops me like some nightmarish blood balloon. If the last thing I do in this godforsaken cum gutter existence is light that fuck box on fire, I still won't die happy. Holy shit, girl, you crazy. That's right, Wade. I won't be happy until I've urinated on her freshly barbecued corpse and hot fuck the charred remains while gargling juggernauts jugging nuts. Wow. And you can quote
You can quote me, Kay. Oh my god. Someone made a whole thread on Twitter on why they think that Buck has ADHD, and Oliver Stark saw it, agreed with all of it, and said, going forward, I'm going to be intentionally portraying Buck as having ADHD. So, do with that what you will. But even if that wasn't true, that's not how fanon or headcanons work. Leave. I can't believe I've never shared this story. Hi. My name is Comet. It is a chosen name, but it is my name. It's not a name I just go by on the internet. It is what I go by everywhere. And when I was in junior high, when I was 13, my cousin and I got matching reindeer onesies, and we convinced our younger cousin that we were reindeer. This was 2 years before I started going by Comet. That's your Christmas time story from me. I'm tired. I just worked Christmas Eve in retail. Now I get to go help Santa deliver a bunch of presents. Happy holidays. Did you hear about Stan Pines having a brother? What? No. Yeah, apparently they're like identical twins, too. Showed up out of nowhere. Seriously? Yeah, no, it's actually kind of crazy. Can you imagine having a twin brother and just never mentioning him? No. Are they, like, identical? Yeah, no, I thought I was going crazy. I thought maybe he figured out how to clone himself or something. Oh, could you imagine? I'd rather not. So we have, like, 2 Stan Pines running around? No, he seems a lot more down to earth, actually. Interesting. Oh my god. Stanford Pines? Yeah, what do you want? Oh my god, you're not Stanford. What are you talking about? Of course I am. No, you're not. You're not my research partner. You're what? People have been talking, saying that they think they saw 2 of you at once. Well, that's just crazy. Is it? Is he here? What? Come on, Stanley. How do you... I was Ford's research partner for years. He told me about you. Where has he been all these years? Not in this dimension. But he's back now. He is. Can I see him? I don't know if that's a Fiddleford? Stanford. It's good to see you. Likewise. Now what the hell'd you do? Stanford Pines? What? Hi? How have you been? Good. I'm sorry, have we met before? Come on, you haven't forgot about me already, have you? Oh! Stan Pines. Is who you're looking for. Yeah. I'm his twin brother. He never mentioned a brother. We were estranged for several years. Oh. We're good now. Just. Yeah. But wait, you responded to me calling you Stanford. Yeah, that's my name. Your parents named both of you Stanford? No, his name is Stanley, I'm Stanford. You know, I could have sworn he introduced himself as Stanford. Oh, he probably did. And do you sometimes introduce yourself as Stanley? No, not once. And you were estranged for what? Oh. It was about 10 years, and then we saw each other, and then another 30 years. And you reconnected recently? Mm-hmm. Come on, Stan, do you really think I'm buying any of this? You could just tell me you don't want to see me. I know it sounds insane, but I promise I'm not making any of this up. Whatever, man. I'm almost done. The Book of Bell. This is fucking insane. This is Losing Sixer. And like... Oh my god. Oh my god, the Bilford agenda is so real. I'm gonna read you some of this. Losing Sixer. Oh, the melodrama. Do you really buy that sob story? My poor brain, my poor knuckles. Please. I was never really gonna steal his eyes. Those were just practical jokes. Some light hazing to initiate him into my gang, just like the rest of my henchmaniacs. It's not my fault if Mr. Tabletop Gaming rolled a 0 on sense of humor, but after this one little spat, Forty swore eternal vengeance, shut down the portal, and dedicated himself to hunting me down through the multiverse. Obsessed much? I know Sixers secretly loved our will they, won't they, destroy the world relationship. This was just his way of keeping things spicy. But the gang was worried. What about our crumbling nightmare realm? I told them to relax. I had it all figured out. So we had a minor setback. Big deal. I knew Ford would be back. I wasn't upset at all. In fact, I decided to prove how not upset I was by our falling out by knocking back a few cold glasses of I'm fine juice at O'Sadley's multidimensional pub in the rock-bottom asteroid belt of the Vicious Spiral Nebula. The rest of that night gets a little hazy, but according to the police transcripts, apparently things took a turn. Dimensional Authority call transcript. Dimensional Authority, what's your emergency? Hi, yeah, I'm working the drive-thru window at Burrito Paradox Mexican restaurant, and there's a muffled sounds of explosions and screaming in the background. There's a triangle. I think he's had a lot to drink. He ordered 1 sixer, please. We told him that didn't make any sense, and he started crying and then ordered infinite empanadas. And we told him we didn't offer infinite empanadas anymore after they caused all those time loops. And then he started just, trashing the place. He's inside the milkshake machine right now, spinning and incomprehensible. Also, this is after they definitely kind of fed into there being a love triangle. How funny is it that Bill was involved in a love triangle with Ford, Fiddleford, and Bill? Bill just blatantly shows jealousy towards Ford's relationship with Fiddleford. This shit's insane. Oh, also, Fiddleford and Stanford being, exes is also... Fiddleford knit him 6-fingered gloves and made him a snow globe of the shack. Went home for Christmas to his wife. Got in a big fight with his wife because he forgot to get her a Christmas present. What the fuck? Of all the things that I was expecting from this book, it being this gay was not on the list. Can you please explain why I'm here? Are you really gonna play dumb? I promise you I am not dumb. I have 12 PhDs. Oh yeah, we're aware. We're also aware of your extensive criminal record. What are you talking about? Any of these sound familiar? What even is first-degree thermometer theft? So what are you gonna claim amnesia of the last 30 years? 30... Stanley. What was that? You've got the wrong guy. You're looking for my brother. Your brother? Twin brother. Stanley. You expect us to believe that. It's the truth. He's been using my name for 30 years. He's been using your name for 30 years. So he's the one who has 12 PhDs. No, that was me. I promise I'm not only claiming the useful things and the good things on my record. He really took my identity for 30 years. Are you really expecting any of us to buy this? Honestly, no. Why do you think I would be saying it if it wasn't true? I know it sounds insane. I'm capable of liking things a normal amount. You saw one drawing of human Bill Cipher where he had black and yellow hair and then promptly fried the shit out of your hair to get back your old black and blonde. Okay, I also had been wanting to go back to black and blonde anyway. You immediately wanted to cosplay him after seeing that drawing. Oh yeah. These things aren't connected? You've been putting off changing your hair for months. Even considered going purple. It was affecting how I dressed. You had to go Christmas shopping. You got up early so you could bleach your hair. Maybe it wasn't entirely because of Bill, but the incentive to do it when you did. Shut up.
You two kids remind me of me and my brother. Before everything went to shit. Grunkle Stan! We remind you of you and Shermie? No. Ford, of course, my twin. You're what now? Family lore drop, shut up! Meh. Good old Sixer. God, I miss him. It kills me that I have to act like he's gone. Well, not that he's gone. That he's me and I'm gone. Either way, I miss him. Yep. I'm living a lie. If only I could get those other 2 journals. Hey, Spidey. Hi, Deadpool. What do you want? I saw that little display of yours at Pride. Very interesting. Okay, I didn't. What? I just didn't know that about you. I love learning things about you, baby boy. Mm-hmm. So you learned I'm bi. Big deal. You're bisexual. Uh-huh. So you... Yes, I swing both ways. How else do you want me to put this? Swing both ways. Good one, Webs. That wasn't on purpose. Sure it wasn't. Is there a reason you're here? Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Oh dear God. Does whatever a biter can. This was a mistake. Spins a web any size. Okay, you're literally just singing the song. Catches chicks, just like guys. There it is. Look out, there goes the Spider-Man. Please leave me alone. You sure you don't want to catch me in one of your webs? I will web your mouth shut. That wasn't a no.